there, and welcome. We're talking today with Doug Olberding, the Executive Director of the Flying Pig Marathon. Doug, thanks for joining us here at Cincinnati People.
Thank you for having me. This is a beautiful day. I was on a walk outside. I walked around to get my lunch, and it was beautiful outside. It was almost 60 degrees, and spring. It was great.
I know, perfect running weather, shall we say, or training weather. And I know a lot of people are in that boat right now. So let's start by talking about the race that's the closest, and that's the Bockfest 5K coming up this weekend. So where do we stand there? Can we still sign up? And what is the cool thing about the Bockfest 5K?
Well, the cool thing about the Bockfest 5K is there's really no other city in the United States that celebrates Bock beer. And Cincinnati devotes an entire weekend to it. So the Bockfest 5K is part of the Bockfest celebration that happens here in Cincinnati. We're going to be starting down on Mering Way right by Great American Ballpark. And when we laid out the course, we were assuming that the bridge was still going to be closed, so we weren't going to be able to close another bridge to Northern Kentucky. So this year only, we are staying only on the Ohio side. It was too late to make a change, but we're going to be running downtown. When you finish, you'll walk up Main Street right to Great American Ballpark, where there will be beer and a post-race celebration there in the banks. We'll have Skyline Chili there, and we'll have all kinds of fun for you. So we're super excited about doing it again this year.
So this is the first of the races from Pigworks, the parent company or organization of the Flying.
The beer series, was sort of a brainchild that sort of popped up about 7 or 8 years ago. And it's celebrating Cincinnati's brewing heritage. So the Bockfest is obviously the first one. It's the first event of the year. Then we have the 50 West Mile. And the 50 West Mile kicks off Flying Pig Marathon weekend. So it's Friday night. It's a 1 mile race. And finishes at the Flying Pig Marathon finish line. We do it in waves, and it ends with an elite mile. So that's the only race that Pigworks does where we give prize money. So we have prize money for the top 3 men and the top 3 women in that elite race. This year, we are doing something new. We are going to have what we're calling a blue jean mile. That is running a mile in blue jeans. Right?
Okay, now I'm in. Okay, how does this... That sounds like a whole lot of chafing to me, Doug.
Well, so we were approached by some of our friends at ASICS. And so the Blue Jean Mile is dedicated to one of our friends at ASICS who lost their life to suicide. And his brother, they were both runners, and his brother would run in blue jeans, right? And he actually ran a 4:06 mile running in blue jeans.
That's amazing. Imagine what he could do in running shorts.
Well, what they've decided to do was to celebrate and raise awareness. So anybody that wants to do that will have information on running the Blue Jean Mile at the 50 West. But the 50 West is our second beer event. And then our final beer event is the UD 14K, our 14K brewery run that we do in the fall. It's 14 kilometers. Again, I always tell people, run this race. If you've never run it before, you'll set a new PR, because I know you've never run a 14K race. Right. So that's our fall event. And if you run all 3, you are a brew hog. So you can get a special medal if you register for and run all 3 events. So that celebrates our beer heritage and part of the fun events that we put on.
The crowning jewel of all of these events, of course, is the Flying Pig Marathon. So for those folks, and you mentioned the weather, this is the time of year when you can finally get outside and you're not running in snow and sleet. What are your tips for those folks working toward either the half or the full marathon?
Well, I think it's consistency. That's the name of the game. Anytime you're training for a longer distance race, it's just getting the runs in is important. Back starting in January, we had our Flying Pig Marathon training kickoff right in the middle of January. And with that kickoff, I decided that I was going to go on a tour of Cincinnati running clubs. So every week I'm running with a different running club, sometimes twice a week, two clubs a week, but really sort of going out to spread some flying pig cheer, to encourage everybody. And it has been wonderful. I just the feedback, just to cheer them on. At the end of January, I met out at Little Miami Brewing Company, did a run with that group. There was probably about 75 runners there. It was 36 degrees, pouring down rain. There was still ice on the roads. We went out and got that run in. So it was just to get out there. So the consistency is important. The great thing is these running clubs are doing it. They are out there. They're all over the city, and they're really all working towards this.
And it makes it, for those folks who have maybe taken part in other events during Flying Pig Weekend, and there are so many, those running clubs really not just keep you consistent, but keep you accountable, don't they, during the tougher times during the year?
I'm going to tell you this, that there have been, I've probably done, this is 9 of these meetups. I would say on 7 of those meetups, I would have not walked out the door if I didn't know there was a running club waiting for me, because the weather was terrible. It was either too cold, it was rainy, it was snowing, it was icy. Now the weather's great, so it's easy to get out there. But I'll tell you what, just knowing that I told these people that I was going to be there is what got me out the door. So.
Let's talk about signing up to do the Flying Pig Marathon. It is not too late, but you guys are doing very well with folks deciding to run this.
Yeah, we are pacing ahead. I think part of it is the word is out that we were selected as the #1 marathon in the United States. We have gotten a lot of interest this year. We've been tracking our registrations. We are pacing ahead. About 1,000 runners. We're expecting 1,000 runners overall in the marathon increase. On Sunday only, we're looking at about a 3,000 runner increase just on the starting line on Sunday. So last year, total registrations on Flying Pig Marathon weekend were just a hair under 40,000. We're like 39, 6 or something like that. We're expecting about 43,000 people.
Oh my goodness!
Starting line.
So for those who may not be aware, the Sunday races are the half and the full marathon, and Saturday you've got, like you said, everything from a mile to the flying fur dog race. You've got all kinds of stuff going on.
We start off with the 10K, then we have the 5K, we have the kids run, we have pig abilities, we have the diaper dash, we have the flying fur. So it's a lot of running on Saturday. So we're excited about that. Yeah.
So for those folks who might be, already training just in general, or who might want to lace them up and get going right now, what should they do to get prepared for, let's say, 5K, 10K, half? A full marathon might take a little bit more work for many people.
Yes, you got plenty of time. If, I always tell people, if you're, in some kind of shape, you can walk around and everything like that. I can get you to the finish line of a 5K or a half marathon, right? You've got enough time right now. You're not going to set a world record or anything like that, but if you want to run a race to finish, you've got enough time. So I think the best thing to do is get connected with a coach or a group. If you can't get connected with a coach or a group, there's lots of running groups out there that are just, they meet and they support one another. There are lots of training plans that you can get online. And I've talked to so many people. Runners are, they come in all shapes, sizes, motivations, behaviors. There's people that are really gravitate towards the camaraderie of a group, but there's others who running is solitude. It's meditation. They want to sort through their day when they're out running. They don't want to be talking to people. And so there are training plans for everybody. I spoke with a woman last year. It was so inspiring to hear her story. In 2023, she was laying on her couch. You might remember it was super hot in 2023 marathon weekend. She was on her couch in her air-conditioned apartment watching coverage of the marathon, and she'd never considered herself to be an athlete. She heard us talking online about anybody can do this, and she said, I wonder if I can do this.
Wow.
So that day, she told me that she found a training plan online and she committed to the Queen Bee Half Marathon. And she followed that plan and she laced them up and got on the starting line and she finished the Queen. When she came across, I did not know this woman. She came across the finish line crying. She was sobbing. This woman just hugs me and she starts telling me her life story about, so when I think of her name was Laura. When I think of Laura,
That's great.
I know that anyone can do it.
Yeah, that's one of the best parts about race weekend is whoever you are, there's somebody that looks like you that is running that race. And you may
Yeah.
not think you can, but you see it and you're like, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it too. So
That I always say it's the magic of the finish line. Get down there. I mean, it's great to see the winners, but be down there when those marathoners are crossing in 4, 5, 6
oh
hours.
yeah.
You see those people coming across, and you're like, I think I could do this. If
Yeah,
that
that's
person
exactly it.
can do it, I can do it.
If we haven't motivated you, then I don't know what we can do else. Doug, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you very much.
And let's tell folks where they can go to sign up for the Bockfest 5K and all the other Flying Pig races.
Yeah, so just go to www.flyingpigmarathon.com. You'll see our menu of events there on the homepage. You can click on Bockfest. It'll take you to the registration page, and you can sign up there. That's the best way, the quickest way, the easiest way to do it. And for all of our events, for Flying Pig Marathon weekend, again, go to www.flyingpigmarathon.com and click on your event and go ahead and sign up.
Perfect. We'll see you at the start line.